Victor, many congratulations on your Rolex Series win last week. Have you had an opportunity to kind of evaluate it and reflect on the week?
A little bit. I think obviously Sunday night was still a bit of, I didn't really know what was happening. And yesterday, as the intensity drops, the adrenaline drops, I didn't sleep at all pretty much Sunday night. Yeah, you're kind of able to reflect a little bit and think it through. And yeah, you realize how big of an event it is and how much, it's going to, weigh into the balance throughout the season. Thomas got off to the same start last year, and you saw how good of a season he had. So yeah, it's very exciting.
A new week, another Rolex Series week. I can only imagine coming off the back of a big marquee event and a victory that it takes a little bit out of you. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I think it's going to be challenging to balance that out because you don't want to feel like, you don't want to feel entitled. You don't want to feel like, oh, I've won, so now I can relax. Because you won because, you were nervous and you had that, pressure and you want to perform. So you want to use the win as just like, oh, now I can build onto the win. But you definitely don't want to start getting a little complacent and start being like, oh, I can get away with this practice or I don't have to do this little things. I think everybody's too good now. You don't have, the margins are so small. There's too much information with, data and stats and informations out there and coaches becoming really good, throughout the board. There's not much time to sleep and start just thinking you can get away with it.
I've got to ask you and address the elephant in the room because it is a Ryder Cup year, and given the incredible season you've had already, what are your sights on for the year?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think 2020 gave me a lot of experience. I was really close to making the team for Whistling Straight. And like I was saying earlier, it's, part of my journey. The chips ended up falling that way. I didn't make that team. Really want to make the next one and get off to the ideal starts. But like I said, it doesn't mean anything. You don't want to get complacent. You don't want to think you've arrived. There's 9 months to go. There's plenty of golf. Everybody plays fantastic golf, and I just got to keep pushing.
On the whole, your performances would suggest that you like this course very much. I mean, how does it suit your eye? How do you feel coming into the week?
Yeah, like I said, it's been great because it's one of the rare courses that I've been on the schedule, every year that was in my schedule as well, because obviously it's such an iconic event. But we've played in Abu Dhabi at the other course, it swapped, we went there, it swapped. The French Open was on, then it stopped for a couple of years with COVID. And this event was always able to sustain and be on the schedule, and the course has changed a little bit, but it's definitely a place that I think everybody enjoys coming to and tries to perform. I had some good results. I've had a terrible Sunday a couple of years back where I shot 79 with a chance to win. So I guess, yeah, we'll see. It's definitely a place that I enjoy playing.
Arguably one of the most iconic holes in the Middle East is the 8th hole here. Tell us your first impressions the first time you played it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's one of those things where you come to the 8th hole of the Emirates, and everybody's talked about the 8th hole of the Emirates, and you think it's just the 8th hole of the Emirates, and then you come in, it's like, and you can't believe, what it is. And I think it's even more impressive when you see the pre-post pictures and how Dubai has developed over 30 years and how this hole has changed from a visual perspective. But it is a little intimidating, I'm not going to lie. It's a big hole. It plays, kind of a big part of that stretch, 7, 8, 9, where they're not easy holes. And you want to try to make 4 pars and get away from it.
How do you tackle that hole off the tee? Is there a stock shot, or is it depending on what the wind's doing that day?
Yeah, I think the wind plays a big role. I think it's quite difficult because the fairway sits at an angle, so it's always difficult to get the line just right, because maybe you take it a little too far right and you don't quite make it, or you take a bit too far left and then you run through and you end up in generally a pretty juicy rough on either side. So it is an intimidating tee shot that leads to an important second going up the hill, which is kind of a semi-blind shot. You know where the pin is, but you can't really see the ball land. So it is a difficult shot, especially when the wind starts blowing, which it does here in the afternoon.
Lastly, I've got to ask Hero, a new sponsor for this week, this year. How important is it to have people like Hero with the Dubai Desert Classic?
Yeah, I think you can never say enough about Dr. Munjal and what he's done. I was very fortunate to be on the Continental team 2 weeks ago at the Hero Cup. And, like I said, it was a massive success. for Continental Europe because we ended up winning, which was nice personally because I had a good week, and also as it led me into last week because you felt like getting that competition, a match play element, which I generally enjoy playing in, was big, and then he backs it up by taking over the Dubai Desert Classic, now Hero Dubai Desert Classic. Which is massive, and there's not enough that can be said about Dr. Munjal and the help and the link that there is between Hero and the DP World Tour. I think we're in great shape.
Best of luck this week.
Cheers, thank you.
Victor, many congratulations again for your incredible success last week. Give us your thoughts after reflecting on what you achieved.
Oui, c'est vrai que voilà, après 2 jours, on a eu le temps de se reposer un petit peu, d'arriver à réfléchir, à savourer un petit peu la victoire. Et c'est vrai que c'est un départ idéal pour ma saison en 2023, après l'Aero Cup, d'aller à Abu Dhabi, de pouvoir remporter le tournoi et d'enchaîner dans la suite avec le Hero Dubai Desert Classic. C'est un départ idéal.
I know last week would have taken a lot out of you physically and mentally. How do you tackle this week? And tell us what your thoughts are on your targets for the year.
Cette semaine, non, je pense que ce qui est difficile cette semaine, c'est de justement pas se laisser aller, pas commencer à ne pas faire toutes les petites choses qui ont permis que la semaine dernière soit une victoire en termes de sommeil, de nutrition, faire les séances de sport. Je pense qu'il faut garder justement cette discipline parce que le tournoi est aussi gros, c'est le même purse, c'est un Rolex Series, c'est un tournoi où forcément on a bien envie de performer, et je sais que si j'arrive à jouer au même niveau que j'ai joué la semaine dernière, j'aurai une grande chance de faire un bon week-end, et ça me mettra dans une encore meilleure position pour le reste de l'année.
Best of luck.